So the idea of this video, and it is to introduce you to the American Psychological Association formatting, okay? And you're gonna look at this and you might be thinking, well, this does not have anything to do with our current subject, the subject that we studied, right, in Unit 4. And you are absolutely right. So this video actually is a video that I created for all of my classes. So maybe if you are taking CS114 or IN150, you are watching this video. And so obviously you don't have to watch it twice, okay? But I just want to let you know that it really doesn't matter what subject you are studying or what the unit covers, whether it's strategies to improve reading, reading strategies, or the introduction to Microsoft Outlook, for example. Okay, it really doesn't matter what that is. My assumption is, well, you have the reading, you have videos there, you have all the resources there to learn what you are supposed to learn as far as Unit 4. Okay, now one thing that you really need to learn is the APA formatting. And probably you've seen in all of the, well, if not all, but at least most of the previous assignments that you worked on, right? You saw this three-letter acronym, right? APA, which stands for American Psychological Association. And it mentioned that, so those assignments mentioned that you have to create this document, right? Or report or whatever the documentation is. The document is. You have to write it utilizing a specific format. It's got to be the APA format. So I want to talk a little bit about that, okay? Because I mentioned in class that we, as far as grading, we initiated very flexibly, right? So for the first assignment, I basically was just looking at, did you submit it on time? Basically, that's what I was doing, right? And then for units 2 and 3, I said, from now on, we are going to progress. As we progress, I'm going to become more, let's say, strict and rigid in regards to grading and observing if you are covering what you're supposed to cover. And one of the things that is actually very important for grading your assignments is APA formatting. So from now on, and I also mentioned that at the right time, I would talk about APA formatting, right? So this is the time. From now on, starting in Unit 5, I want you to make sure that you are using the APA format in your documents, okay? So basically, the APA format is nothing more than a standard that was created in order to, well, since it's a standard, right? In order to standardize how people, companies, organizations, researchers, students, how they are writing their documents. Because one thing that happens is, okay, so in my situation, for example, I have a background in engineering, okay? And in engineering, the association, probably the most important association when it comes to standardization and research, is IEEE, okay? And IEEE, they also created their own format. So what happens is, let's say that you want to publish a paper in a IEEE journal, okay? So what you need to do is you have to write your document using their specific standard. It's a very specific format, okay? Now, if you want to submit a a paper to a journal, it needs a ACM journal. Well, then you have to adjust your document to that other format, right? And the same thing goes to most of the digital libraries or research and the standardization organizations that are out there. So what I'm saying is there is a bunch of different formats, different standards. The idea of the American Psychological Association was to create this format that can be utilized. Obviously, again, if you're going to submit to IEEE venue, you will have to follow their format, use their format. But the idea of APA is to create a standard and ask organizations to also follow that standard, right? So the idea is if you are going to submit a paper to a business venue, a business journal, okay, a journal in business, well, they are now using the APA format. If you are in psychology, they are using the APA format. So the idea is to standardize globally, right? Define a specific format that you are going to use. And that's why, again, I'm not saying that all of the venues are utilizing the APA format, but a bunch of them are. And it's important that you, and Purdue is not different. Purdue is also using that standard. Okay, so what I need you to understand is that this is the format that we are going to use, and it's very, very important that you learn, you understand how you are supposed to use a format. Okay, so here in this document, okay, and it is available for all of the assignments, all of the readings, the per unit, right? So each of the units that we have, you have the reading section, and in the reading section at the bottom of the reading page, you have links to the APA format web page. Okay, but you can always go to Purdue Global Writing Center/APA-style, okay? And here you have the resources, APA style documentation and formatting. So you have here links to all the resources that you need in order to learn how to use the APA format, okay? And one of the documents that you can get access to here is this PDF file here. So this PDF file is doing nothing more than describing what your how to format a APN formatted document, right? So the American Psychological Association 7th edition requires a title page, right? You need to format it in a 1-inch, using 1-inch margins on all sides. Indent the first line of each paragraph, 0.5 inches, so forth, so on. So you have a description of the specific definitions of how to format your document, okay? Now also, another important thing here, and this is very, very important. So again, if you go to Purdue Global Writing Center/APA-style, you have here the APA common citations and references. Now, this is very, very important, okay? Not just because in here you have a PDF file explaining how this is done, but it's not so much about the format, because what happens is, okay, so again, here, right, you have a definition of how your document should be formatted according to the APA 7th edition format. But, and the same thing goes for citations, references and citations. But you do not really need to worry about learning the format. And the reason why that is true is because you are not going to create a file, a doc file from scratch. Basically, you can just download an APA formatted template doc file. Okay, so here I have an example, and obviously you can search for something like APA format Word template, right? And you're going to see a bunch of template files there. This is just one example. So what I'm saying is you can just search for this type of file, downloaded it, and look, basically you just need to replace the information here with your own information, right? So you have here the front, the cover page, you have the abstract page, right? And then you have your full title going here and including the sections. And finally, you have the references. Now, the one thing that is important to understand is it's very common to get assignments for students to upload assignments that their formatted doc file has the cover page, abstract, the title and the content and all that stuff, but they miss the references, or they include the references page, but they do not do it accordingly. It's very important that you understand what this means. Okay? So, what that means is citation is something that you use to cite a resource or a source where you extracted that information from. Okay? So, for example, let me open this document here. Okay? And again, this is not APA formatted document, okay? But I just want you to understand how you should use references, okay? So, and let me zoom in here. Okay, if we scroll down to the very last page of this journal paper here. Okay, you can see here. So you have the references section. Again, it's a different format, but it's the same idea, right? The very last section that you're going to have is the references section. Observe here that I have the authors and I have the title of the document where I got this reference from, okay? And at some point in the document, I'm gonna have that specific reference being cited. Okay, so if we go here and here it is, number 1. So again, this is not APA formatted. APA format is different. It doesn't use numbers for citations and references. It uses the author's name and the year of the publication. Okay, but that's something that you're gonna learn. Okay, now what matters here is what you really need to understand is the reason why I have this citation here is because the idea that is being described specifically here, okay, in this sentence or paragraph. Okay, it's not something that I made by myself. It's not a concept that I created. I got it from somewhere else. Whenever you use concepts, definitions, keywords, or even ideas, but you did not come up with those ideas or concepts, right? If you did not come up with that specific concept, you got it from someone or somewhere, right? So that's why you include a citation here. So I am citing reference 1. What I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, This concept, definition, idea, whatever, here was not made by myself. I got it from reference 1. I'm citing 1. So if we go down there, the first reference, right, is the one that I got it from. Right here, number 1. So why is it important to understand that? Because again, the idea of including references is to show where you got that idea or concept or whatever from, okay? Which means that if you have a reference, if you include a reference in your document, that means that you use that reference in your document. That means that you need to cite it. So it's very common to see either or well, actually both, right, is also occurs. You have a citation in the document, but it's citing, the citation is there, you go to the reference, and the reference is not there, right? Or you have the opposite. There is a reference such as this one, but this reference is not being cited in the text. Well, if you include it as a reference, that means that you used the idea, concept, whatever from that author, right? And you used it in your document. So why is it not in your document? So you just need to be careful with that, okay? Referencing, citation is very, very important. Make sure that you always include references, and for each reference, you should cite that reference in your document, okay? Well, with that being said, just one more thing that, well, before I ask you to go ahead and watch this video, right? This video here, and here is the link to it. It's also, where is it? It's also in here, APA Demystified in 5 minutes. Or if you prefer, you can just enter this URL here, use this URL, campus.purduglobalcom/APA-demystified-in-5-minutes, okay? Or just go here as I mentioned, okay? So make sure that you do watch. This is only a 5-minute long video, very straightforward, simple, but also covers everything that you need to know as far as using the APA format. Now, I mentioned that if you are going to use the APA format, right, you don't need to actually create that file from scratch. You can just download a Word doc file. Now, one thing that I believe that is very important to know is that in case you've never heard of it, there is this project called Overleaf, okay? And the website is overleaf.com. This is a free project, free tool, online tool, okay? And it allows you to create documents, articles, papers using templates. And they offer a bunch of templates, all kinds of templates that you can imagine, right? So for example, as I mentioned, if you need to write a document using the IEEE format, they have it. The IEEE specific journal format, they have it. ACM format, they have it. APA format, they also have it. Now, this is for people that like to use a specific documentation writing language. It's kind of a programming language for writing documents, which is called LaTeX. And it does take some time to learn how to use LaTeX or to write a document using LaTeX. But what I want to show you is, or just out of curiosity, if you are curious and if you really want to learn how to write documents using a concise, well-structured language, not something like depending on the Microsoft Word tool, because the Microsoft Word tool Well, first of all, it's a proprietary tool, so you never know what might happen. LaTeX is a free open source language, so it will be there forever and always maintained by the community. But anyways, if you do want to use a more structured tool to write reports, documents using specific formats, here in Overleaf, look, I'm going to go here, click on New Project, okay? And then at the end, I can see View All. And I'm going to search for APA, okay? And here it is, APA format, LaTeX. You can scroll down, you're gonna see a bunch of templates here. So again, we're using version 7, but you do have version 6 available here. So let me just take APA 7 format LaTeX starter. I click there, and then I click here on Open as Template, right? And it is going to open a template. So look, basically what you need to do, and like I said, this is a LaTeX language, so you need to study a little bit about the LaTeX language, but at the end of the day, all that you need to do here is to replace so for example, abstract, you have here \abstract. You just need to replace this. And when you do that, it is going to update this information here. As far as your document, it goes here, you replace that, it is going to replace this information here. The title of the document is also, everything is included here, right? So here's the title, the author. So all the information that you see here is actually integrated into the LaTeX language here. You just need to find it here and replace. Once you replace it, you recompile, you're going to see the information updated in this PDF file here. So you change it here, you recompile, it will update and generate the new PDF file here. So once you're done, once you have everything that you need, you can simply download the PDF here. Your PDF will be there ready to use and be submitted, okay? Again, I'm not expecting you to use Overleaf or learn how to use LaTeX, but it is just a resource that I find very important and useful in your academic career, okay? To be honest with you, at least right now, for the moment, I would recommend you to search for a Word document template for the APA format, but just know that you have Overleaf as an option here. And if you are writing papers, if you want to write an academic paper, well, then you should forget about Word document templates, and you should learn how to use the LaTeX language. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.